Well, hey, folks, how you doing? Yes, you made it for another off night. That's really good. I've just experienced a lot of hot weather. We took a little time off. Nothing really happened. I guess maybe I don't know. Yeah, just a couple of things happened out in the world, so nothing to worry about. You're in great shape. Do you know your way to a bomb shelter from where you live? Okay. Anyway, just thought I'd let you know. Just trying to figure out what that is. Okay. All right. Anyway, we're just gonna have a really good show tonight. We got everybody on board. We got a poet coming. We got Jason and his usual. Well, there's nothing usual about Jason, but he's coming anyway. And of course, your host and MC, Mark Sweetman.
Hey, can you see me?
I can see you. You're frozen.
I think it's working. Oh, am I? Great.
Mark's in the North
Hate
Pole.
this.
He's frozen right
Absolutely. Yeah. Hate it. Hate this.
Hate it.
Anyway, good to see you. I guess we're going to have to work with delays or something. My computer sucks. I couldn't get Jason's to work. Oh, Jason. Oh, wait. Hold on. Let's get Susan out here for her poem.
Susan for her poem.
Right. Because she reads a poem every week based on the news. And then we use that sort of as our.
All right. Well, it's time for Susan's poem.
Didn't do a program last week. Did you miss us? We went to Sam's memorial service. It was very nice. Sad to see people under those circumstances, but was very nice.
Cool.
Hello.
Hello. So so there's no poem? You got no poem?
I have a poem. Are you ready for it? You mentioned something to Jason. Are you bringing him out?
No, he's going to stay hidden for a while. We got to.
I was going to bring you. Yeah, we'll read your poem and then we'll bring Jason out. Just as we have done for about the last 270
stay right
episodes.
there. Don't move. Here's your poem. Right. Oh, you moved everybody. Trump's big bullshit bill advanced in the Senate on Saturday. Now back to the House as we approach a national holiday. In Idaho, firefighters just doing their jobs were shot, intentionally set fire to killed, and sniper caught. A third firefighter was injured, it's been said, and the alleged sniper who was caught was actually found dead. A SpaceX explosion on Juneteenth, debris in Mexico. Elon Musk, there will be an investigation, I want you to know. Extravagant exploitation and over-tourism never ending. Protesters in Venice did not like the Bezos wedding. Grilling, fireworks, and picnics. Please note summer has arrived. Today marks the end of June in the year 2025.
In the year 2025.
That's your poem. Hello.
Man is still alive.
Thank you very much. You know what? I hit the button that would have brought Andy and me back, but I'm not sure what happens.
They're back. They're back.
Oh, are they?
Bring Jason out.
Let's get 25. If man is still alive.
20.
If man is still alive.
Who do we got there in your background, Jason?
Warren Beatty and Diane Lane. I think it was Diane. Yeah.
Warren Beatty.
And that was shot by a friend of mine when he was in New York City back in 1978 or 79.
Oh, wow.
He encountered them on the street and asked, could we take your picture? And they said, are you like the... He's like, no, it's just me. And they're like, oh, cool. Yeah, sure. Go ahead. So,
wow. Warren Beatty.
Cool. Yeah. I think it's a great shot.
And they believe
it is.
Yeah. And there you go.
Yep.
So, hey, guys. Hey, Mark, are you coming to the show this Sunday?
Is there going to be a show this Sunday?
Well, there you go. That's even better.
Well, I talked to Tim. He says it's the first Sunday and the third Sunday.
First and third. Okay.
First
Yeah,
and
our
that would be
daughter
this-
graduated.
so that
We've
would be
got her
this
open
Sunday.
house Sunday, so we're gonna
We-
play hooky.
Yeah, you guys are
from
invited to that.
50.
You guys are invited to that. I'll send you the address if you want to come. It's what time is it? Sunday, like noon to 4 or something like that. What is
Yeah,
it,
something
Susan?
like that.
Remember?
Oh, and where
Yes,
is it?
I
yeah,
got an invite
yeah.
right here.
Sunday.
Sunday.
What's that?
Where is the
It's
graduation?
it's at the clubhouse. It's at the clubhouse of our condominium.
Oh,
It's
Ah.
12:30 to 4:30 this Sunday.
There you
I'll
go.
The
send you the
com-
address when we're
The
done.
the fabled condo, comedy condo.
So
The
there'll be
famed
cake.
comedy condo.
If
That
we
would be-
remember to order it at
And
Costco, there'll be
sweet-
cake. Oh, I hear twang again.
okay, cool. So this is like high school graduation.
Yeah, her little celebration.
This is
Nice.
the last
That's
one.
great. That'll be
This
really
is our-
fun. That's cool.
our graduate. Probably
Mark said
the
our
one
last
who
graduate.
will tell us that she knows more than everybody.
Well, that's
Isn't that what I said?
That is the defect
I thought I
of,
said that.
of that particular age when you're somewhere
I-
between 17 and 20 and you know everything.
I love the Mark Twain quote. I can only paraphrase it, but he said something like, when he was 15, he thought his dad was an idiot. And when he was 21, he couldn't believe how much his dad had learned in 6 years.
Yeah,
That was an idiot.
it is. Well, you go from that period of time where you're
Is your
you're
daughter is your daughter with you, Susan?
She's in the other room. Why?
Because she's calling me.
Ah!
All right. Never mind. I'm on a delay. I'm on a delay because everything I say gets responded to.
Wait.
Your image is jumpy like your AI or something. Maybe you are.
Cool, it's AI Mark. Yes.
It's like we're
I'm
receiving
AI.
we're receiving images from
I'm
somewhere
AI.
around the Mars or something.
I'm AI.
Sam is still trying to log in from
Whatever.
beyond
I
the
hate
grave
this.
to tell us what idiots we are.
Miss
So
Sam.
look at him.
Miss Sam.
Well,
It was very hot in New
his
York. but-
daughter was delightful at the.
Yeah.
Never mind. I can't say anything.
I can
I'm on
hear
such
you.
a
His
delay.
daughter.
I can't say anything. I am such.
I was
right.
about to say, Mark. Even okay,
I know I'm on such a delay though.
I understand.
We can hear your voice.
We will. We will.
Put
We
your
will
picture on
make
freeze and just keep talking.
at some point here in the next few days when you and I both have some time. I'll come out there. We'll take a look at both these tablets and see about updating the software. Maybe that's the issue. Could be.
And Mark can return Sam's. Barbara gave it to us.
Okay.
Well, yes, and yes, that's what I mean. We get
I got-
that one. We put the show on
I
that
got
one.
I got Sam's tablet. I brought that home.
Thank you.
I do have
Thank
that.
you very much. Like I say, we run the show off that one and then run the video for Mark off the other one. We get the software updated, which probably hasn't been done in a little while. Andy's looking like he's a character in a Somerset Maugham play, slowly mopping his forehead with his aged, chubby fingers across his furrowed brow.
I like that about it.
Living on the razor's edge. There we go.
Yes, that is.
All right. Well, I'm going to go tend to the team.
That is
so
character.
I'm
I
going to say
love
goodbye.
No, absolutely. He looks like he should be playing the judge.
Right. Find out if I need to read.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
There you go. The judge in the murder.
Text me if I should be answering her calls.
Judge Grumpy will be on set.
What's the name of the? Oh my God, Ben Gazzara, shot in Michigan, Jimmy Stewart.
Anatomy of a Murder.
Anatomy of a Murder. My God, what is going wrong with me? I can't remember anything anymore.
I did.
This
Directed
is
the
You're
play,
getting old. You're getting old.
Anatomy of a Murder, and then I was actually in it.
yes.
I played the caretaker at the campground. I got to say the great final line, you know.
That's got Lee Remick,
Yeah,
if
the
memory
irresistible
serves.
urge to move. It's like so.
God. Yeah.
The last line of the movie too. So
Jimmy Stewart and who was
Lee Remick.
Lee Remick. Yes, and Jimmy was dedicated to both the law and fishing.
Yeah.
So
Trevor.
did
Traver.
they shoot that in Traverse City?
I think they did up in Marquette.
Marquette. All right.
Because I think that was I think this actual outside scenes were in Marquette.
Nice. So at any rate, Mark, we will get. Oh my God, Mark is just having like it's almost like the dude from Network, Albert Finney, just or not Albert Finney, the other guy, just having the nervous breakdown on camera while Robert Duvall is in the backstage.
Peter Finch.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. I want you to go to your window.
Go to your windows.
I want you to go to your window right now and scream out, I'm not going to take it anymore.
Take this anymore. Oh, and
Heidi Chayefsky, that was Network.
Yep, and Faye Dunaway playing the genuinely femme fatale, just absolutely. Bill Holden, and I think was his last role, or I don't know if it was either that or SOB. Yeah, which again, he gives that wonderful soliloquy of I've smoked enough nicotine to poison an entire population. I've engaged in sexual excesses that make Caligula look like a celibate monk. I've drank enough alcohol to poison a dozen livers. So if you really want to go, talk to me, because I've got some great ways to do it. And
got some great ways to do it.
Yeah, and sadly he was gone not too long. And again, appropriate enough, fell over during an alcoholic binge, hit his head on something on the way down, and bled out. Or he was bludgeoned to death by call girls, and they just wanted to cover it up. One or the other. I'm not sure. I wasn't there.
He still was what's her name?
He was dating some young thing at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, he had someone on his, because it was at the time when William Holden's name still meant something. He wasn't quite the
Stephanie Powers.
Could have been.
Yeah, Stephanie Powers was.
She didn't take him out on the boat with her, did she? No, that was the other people. The whole Natalie Wood, Christopher Walken.
You're thinking of
Robert Wagner.
Natalie Wood, yeah.
And surprisingly, Christopher Walken.
Yeah,
I don't know what happened.
I don't know. What do you mean you pushed her off the boat?
I was on the boat. He was outside.
The Christopher Walken deposition.
I don't know what happened. I was making eggs.
You were only one of three people on the boat, Mr. Walken.
I was making eggs.
Is that what you want us to believe, sir? You were making breakfast?
I don't know. I just thought,
you didn't hear
any breakfast. And
you didn't hear any splashing? You didn't hear anyone thrashing in the water, sir?
I had the music on. It was a rock and roll, It was very interesting music. I don't know. I thought the engine was bad. Robert Wagner was snoring so horribly. I don't know,
Was O.J. Simpson anywhere near the boat that morning?
O.J.
Yes. If the life jacket doesn't fit, you must acquit.
Wow. I think he was. It was on a rubber raft. They were doing shots of I don't know. Was it a Police Story at that time? I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
the naked cop or whatever,
What do you mean you just got to call Mr. Wagner from
Naked
Stephanie
gun.
saying, now he's dead. You got to get rid of yours. Oh dear.
I thought that was just a dream.
Yeah.
Anyway, I left. Yeah.
Oh my God!
Surprisingly, Christopher Walken was on board.
And we live in such surprisingly unserious, rather serious times. And gentlemen, allow me to be for just a moment or two, once again, don the cloak of the voice of doom, a cloak that is well worn on my shoulders. The United States was happy to announce, a year ahead of schedule, the introduction of the B-61 Mod 13 gravity-deployed nuclear weapon with a maximum yield of over 300 kilotons, thus eclipsing the more recent B-61 Mod 12, which only had a maximum yield of 50 kilotons, deployable by B-1 bombers, B-2 bombers, much like those used in the recent strike on Iran, letting the world know that we can show up, you can't do a thing about it, and we can vaporize anything we want with a bomb 24 times bigger than Hiroshima. A round of applause, please, for our ingenuity. Thank you very much. I didn't make up a word of that, by the way. That's all true. So,
well, okay, that's good.
There you go. Thank you.
Yeah. You always got to keep making better nuclear weapons. There you go.
And more pinpoint and easily deployable. Again, with stealth bombers. So, if you think our most recent Picadillo in Persia was, and by the way, Picadillos in Persia, favorite gay porn from the mid 1960s.
Picadillos in Persia.
In Persia, yeah. It was,
Picadillos in Persia.
That's right.
That sounds like
I heard two great lines today. I heard two great lines this week.
Film and a 1960s European.
I heard two great lines this week.
Yes, Mark. Yes. Go ahead.
One was on Wait, Don't Tell Me.
Yeah.
It was somebody was talking about Hormel, the meat company.
Yes.
And the guy goes, Hormel. Hormel. Mm-hmm. That's kind of wet cat food for single men.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And the other line I thought was really good was on Colbert. He says, so RFK was up there talking about another wagon train disease.
Get it out, Andy. Come on. Get it out. No, get back in character.
Another wagon train
Start at the beginning.
Disease?
He was, RFK says, he goes, RFK was talking about another wagon train disease that people are getting. we already have, vaccines, but he keeps, everybody has to have polls or measles or some sort of thing that we've already cured.
And
the first one was better, I guess.
Did he give this address at the Ambassador Hotel while being tended to by a plethora of Palestinian busboys?
Was there Palestinian busboys at the plethora?
It's a history joke. Never mind, guys. Now, people don't remember more than 10 seconds ago, let alone.
You're buzzing too now.
Yeah, you're telling me, dude. I've been buzzing for years. You
guys are both buzzing. Get out of the marijuana stuff, man. Jeez.
I've been going to the Nurse Ratchet electroshock therapy clinic for that. Go, Mark. I can hear you. How is it?
Where do you want me to go?
I don't know. Someone was saying something. Heck, I don't know. This is turned into a complete and utter clam bake. We're just doing the best we can. Let's just keep going forward. Just like when you have one of those little sort of low budget circuses that come to town, and 2 or 3 people end up like falling off the trampoline and sustaining severe neck injury. But we're like, okay, just keep going. Ignore the ambulance. Just you can ignore the cries of pain. Someone play the canned music. Mark is covering his face like he just did the perp walk.
But in this blurry
you become the celebrities in your small town for 6 months.
He's got like a King Lear sort of beard in this blurry sort of photo. It's like King Lear.
There you go.
Yes. Rage Against the Light. There we go. All right.
Yeah. Well, King Lear was the name that I used when I was arrested on a Peeping Tom case, but never mind that. I can't. I know. I keep going in one direction or another. King Lear.
Partying about that?
King Lear. I was Lord Drool.
Blow and blow.
Oh my goodness.
Cheeks.
Well, no, we're just a quick question, Mark. Are you running the show off your tablet or off?
It's hard to make jokes when you get last 7 seconds.
I hear you. No, I'm just curious. Are you like parking the show over on the iPad or on your tablet?
I'm using my Chromebook.
Okay.
We tried the tablet.
No, it's on my I don't have it. It's not on my tablet.
Right.
It's on my laptop.
Right.
I started out with just Andy and my wife using your iPad before you got here, and he was saying that I sounded. I can't remember what the sound.
Twang.
You had a
So I turned it
vibration.
off and I just went to this.
Vibrating,
and I really don't care anymore. I hate this.
Okay.
I'll do my impression. Andy.
Yeah.
That was what I kept seeing.
Yeah. Yeah, we just need to get a better computer for you. That's all. We'll do it.
That's all.
Well, the good news is, guys, I'm not on unemployment. Well, close. I'm on Social Security now. And I know that I finally have made it to that golden age because I'm receiving phone solicitations from people who want me to plan ahead for my funeral. I've had people call me up with the what have you? Yeah,
the answer to those people, whenever they call me, is what have you heard?
Crazy.
You know?
Yeah.
Mark has gone crazy.
As I've told people many times, as I tell these folks now, I've already planned my wedding. My funeral, same thing. My nephew is going to see to it that I have a Fargo funeral where my remains are scattered with a tree chipper, and that's going to be about the size. That's going to be
there's a slip.
There you go. Yeah, so that's the way it's going to go for me. But yes, I went and signed up. I got the Social Security. Whatever. I needed the money, and it's not like I can go out.
What I like about the chipper is not the.
It's not the. Oh my goodness, he's completely frozen up. It's
frozen.
It's all just crazy at this point.
This is like some sort of Twilight Zone episode, you know?
No, you know what this is again this. Andy, here, allow me to get all kind of serious again. I'm going to do this for just a few seconds. But the proper term that has now been used by the way, sort of a leftist writer, but he's absolutely correct. It's called the enshittification of everything. They promise us all this great technological stuff, and when it rolls out, it usually is pretty nice. It is. And then slowly but surely, they put the blocks to us. And it just keeps getting a little bit worse and worse. You and I have both been ensnared in that web, much like the frog in the boiling digital pot, where they said, use this app, ignore everything you've done before. No, don't worry, you'll make lots and lots of money. And for 2 weeks we did. And then the exsanguination began. The analog thing, the algorithmic fangs sunk in deep into the flesh. Mm-hmm. And slowly but surely, our cars are not under repair anymore. We constantly are scrambling, looking, oh, look, ramen's on sale. Great. If there's a surge tonight, maybe I can afford to buy some Hormel, and I'll have some wet cat food.
There we go.
For us. And I'm right. And by the way, these sons of bitches, they're not Democrats. They are so far above all that. It is, the Democrat Republican is sort of like the XY axis. They're on the Z axis. Mm-hmm. The who knows where it is. Have you seen the psychopaths that run Palantir, which is like the top AI corporation right now? The Palantirs that is making the AI that most of the government is using. It's essentially the AI that was employed. I don't know if those use it or not, but it's being used in Department of Defense stuff, and mm-hmm. anyone who can afford it pays for it, gets it. And the people who run this thing are absolute freaking psychopaths. They're like the executive billionaire who's showing up for the interview in his white T-shirt with his well-coiffed hair, pretending to be sort of a working class dude. Mm-hmm. And you know that if he walked there across the skulls of recently slaughtered children, he would dance. He would dance on their pates as he got up to whatever microphone or podium that he wanted to prance and parade upon. These are the sacrificial priests of the new digital age, and yet somehow or another we are all expected to get on our knees, and we do. They know our weak spots. The machines have worked out; they're better than us, and we've got a whole generation of people who hold on to their digital dildo in their hand and won't let it go. It's like a failed plot from a Gene Roddenberry pilot, and yet we're living it now, and we don't have Marriott Hartley prancing around in a two-piece. Instead, you've got people who look like me prancing around in a two-piece, saying I'm a girl, and it's like, no, you're not a girl. No, I don't mean to be rude, but you're not a girl. You're not.
Was that in the Earth Genesis?
Well, he did a couple of them. There's like 3 iterations, yes, where she was part of the master race with the double navel.
Yeah, so that was Genesis.
Yeah,
what was the first one that they had?
Oh, well, they did like Earth 2 and Genesis.
There was a second one. There was
one. There was a second one. And he was using what's his name, John, the dark-haired swarthy guy.
Saxon.
John Saxon, trying to be a cut rate Bill Shatner.
Yeah. So actually, yeah, she was in the first one.
Yeah.
And then they tried to make that was a TV movie.
Right.
And then they tried to make an actual show of it with John Saxon.
It didn't work. Didn't sell.
It had a potential. I mean, I thought it was a great idea. I love the idea of like
post-apocalyptic. Yeah. Well, again,
the only thing left is the trains. It's interesting, they talk about how people traveled in the medieval times. They actually created tunnels underneath Europe.
Well, the thing is, they still had the set left over from Forbidden Planet, and they got a lot of mileage out of that set, out of the train, the whole train set. That's all from Forbidden Planet.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's been redressed a couple of times, but it is the same. It's the same set. They just held on to the props and got it ready to go. Right over here.
They're in a warehouse somewhere. Everything is in a warehouse somewhere in LA. So
yes, and well, like when Peter Falk went to pick out his car for Columbo, they brought him out a selection of cars, and he's like, "No, this isn't." And they took him to the warehouse where they store various prop cars, and he found the Peugeot that he wanted.
Oh, okay.
And that's which again, who drove a Peugeot in America at that time? Nobody.
Yeah.
No one.
Actually, my friend's mother's parents did. They are like international
well, I'm about to say college professors. Yeah. He's an English professor at Bowdoin. Yeah, he drives the Peugeot.
Yeah, he has a Peugeot.
Right. Exactly.
We would get into my friend's Peugeot at 16. We drive around drinking Mountain Dew like crazy people.
Oh, I think Mark is coming back. Oh dear.
Mark is returning.
He's returning. Yeah.
He's angry.
Well, I hope. Yeah. Listen, I don't know if he can hear us or not, but in all seriousness, I will get together with him. He looks good.
His picture's better.
Yeah, it looks like he's wearing a Star Trek T-shirt almost. If we put a little emblem over,
he looks like he looks like the guy from Forbidden Planet.
He does. Walter Pigeon.
Beard.
Yes.
Hair.
All he needs is a big Krell machine back behind him to release his inner id.
Yeah, and then Robbie the robot.
Well, yeah, there you go. I imagine there were a few other attachments to Robbie that we didn't know about back then that weren't polite to show, but in this modern age, they'd be all over the place. Mm-hmm. And he did have Anne Francis as his daughter.
Oh yeah, Anne Francis.
Yeah,
right around in a skirt that would
Yeah. I have the exact same outfit, but on me it looks very different.
I would say yeah.
Yeah, very different. And,
I'm back on the iPad. Is this any better?
Yes, look great.
You look better
because I like the picture better. You guys sound better to me on the iPad.
You sound great.
Andy said I wasn't coming in well before.
Well,
you're fine now.
We'll just accept this. Okay, cool.
And we also need to get you a lavalier microphone, something you can just pin to the collar, and you'd be surprised how much it helps. And they're only about $100. I'll go online, I'll get one. They're not expensive, and even nicer, they're wireless. So if you want to start recording some of your sets and you know, while you're on stage and whatnot, that if you see what the comedians are wearing these days, they're all using Rode lavalier microphones and
Great.
sounding pretty good. So you can start getting a sizzle reel, and you can do 5 minutes on why you hate the modern technology and why all of us who've embraced it should all be marched into a camp and turned into digital chum and spread across the universe to be consumed.
Well, we should go to a safe place like the nuclear places in Iran. Obviously not going to get hit.
Well, if we go there, it's only if you guys buy me a T-shirt that has a big bullseye.
There we go.
And I'm like, right here, pal, right here. Let's see what you can do with this. Come on.
Well, you can't locate anything. Come on.
I can help you out with that. Just like if
really.
I ever, I keep a bottle of wine in the fridge for just in case we get the. By the way, 15 minutes, the incoming flight of missiles are coming in, and I'm going to pop the. I'm like, you know what? It's been 33 years, but what the hell?
I think I'll try heroin for the. I think I'll try heroin for the first time.
There we go.
Mark,
I've never done it.
I'm going to do wine and put on some sunscreen, just to last a little bit longer. Just so
hey, you know what'd be fun? How about bestiality with all the neighborhood cats?
Mark, I hadn't planned on going the bestiality route when there's only 15 minutes left, because if we do get to the pearly gates, I don't want them to go, oh, this looks good.
Yeah, that's the last thing I need. That's the last thing I need is the jealous poodle.
Jealous poodle sounds like a sex act, but
yeah, you said I was going to be the one you did last.
We couldn't help but notice that in the last 15 minutes of your life, we have a red flag here.
Explain yourself, please.
You find out that your angel who's doing the vetting is Christopher Walken, asking you about the red flag to Mr. Sweetman. We couldn't help but notice. Oh dear. I mean, with me, it's all red flags till you get to the end. It's like, 15 minutes, you found Jesus, did a nice little prayer, good to go. The stuff beforehand, not so much.
Exactly. Your 15 minutes. If Jesus was included in your 15 minutes, probably 14 of those minutes would be explaining where you've been.
Well, exactly. It's like, listen, it's been a long time. I know this might seem conveniently timed. I didn't play. Hey, I'm not the one who pushed the button. I think you know more about that than I do. But it does appear that the 4 horsemen are here and the apocalypse and all that. And by the way, very poetic. Got to give you credit for that. But listen, I'm really sorry.
Either of you guys.
Do you think Jesus really cares if you go to church or not?
It depends on the church and how much you gave. Were you raised Catholic, Andy? You'd know the answer to that question.
No, I'm just saying. Like, I mean, he knows where you are. He knows where you are all the time. I mean, it's like
I am the worst of the worst. I was raised atheist by my parents, who rejected the church because, as my father said, he didn't mind God, but his employees just wanted your money. And then I later embraced Catholicism as I got older, which again endeared me to my parents so much more, even more so than the prison thing. It's like, what? And now you're going to Alcoholics Anonymous, and now you're a Catholic. You've been a disappointment on so many levels.
So I didn't realize you had joined the Catholic Church.
Jason. God, decades ago.
When we confess our sins in the Catholic Church, we say, "Bless me, Father, for I have sinned." My last confession was, and you should. And I was told by a priest one time, that's nothing that should be followed with My last confession was He says, if you follow my last confession was we have to make an appointment. We can't do that here on a Saturday afternoon.
Well,
it's going to take a little time.
From the movie Devil's Advocate, when Al Pacino goes into the church and dips his finger in the holy water and it begins to boil. I mean, that's, he's like, yep, still got the touch. And I can make coffee. Which
Hello.
Yeah. Hey. Um. Yeah, can you imagine like if the devil were to pull you and try and tempt you now, and instead of putting you out there to see the whole world, it might be like, well, can I just maybe get like, a good cell phone plan and 60/40 dental insurance? I think that would actually
Isn't
be
it, isn't
enough.
it, isn't it amazing how cheap selling your soul has gotten these days?
Well, the closer you get to the end, it's like, well, let's be fair, there's not a lot left. I mean, that's why the Arby's coupons have expiration dates, right? I mean, take the hint. You get it while you can. A couple of beef and cheddars, and don't worry, they're going to find you in your car, passed over, slumped over the steering wheel with a massive coronary, with curly fries in the front seat. I like to paint a pretty picture. I like, So we haven't had a chance to talk. Tell me, I'm going to shut up. I just want to listen. How did the service for Sam go? Mark, can you please fill us in?
It was exactly how you would think a service, a memorial service would go for somebody if it was held in a New York City comedy club. It's exactly how you think it would.
I love it.
Barbara. Actually, there were a couple of comics there that I was holding court at one of the tables off in the corner. And they said, "Oh, you got to get up and say." I was telling all these Sam stories. They go, "Oh, you got to get up. Oh, you got to get." And so one of them went over and said, "Carol, let Mark get up and say," or not Carol, is a Barbara. I says, "Barbara, let Mark get up and say if you." So she goes, "Well, if nobody else does." And so what she did was, it was her daughter, Cassandra, and her brother, a niece, a sister. Not a sister. Yeah, it was a sister. That would have been the two sisters got up. They were his nieces. They were cousins. They had different mothers, but both of them were Sam's sisters. Anyway, by the time we're into it about an hour now, and it was like that I was sort of like pinch hitter in case nobody else wanted to get up, but I never got up there to say anything.
Well,
but I was going to talk. One of the stories I told that everybody said, "Oh, you got to tell that story," was when Sam and I, when we first worked together, it was in Columbus, Ohio. And Sunday morning, before we're all ready to leave town, I think he was catching a flight. I was driving back to Detroit. James Leslie Jackson was going to Chicago. We all decided to have dinner at the hotel restaurant. And he goes, "Pork, what's that like?" Jewish kid. I've never had pork products. I go, "Oh, you ought to try it. It's really good." And so he has bacon or sausage. I can't remember what it was. He goes, "Oh, this is great. No wonder God didn't want us to have it. We're Jews. He doesn't want us to enjoy anything." And he goes on and on and on. Well, anyway, years later, I'm telling this story about Sam Greenfield. And the guy's looking at me just perplexed. He goes, "Oh, well, that's what Sam told me when I fed him some bacon." So basically, he played this whole thing out every time he had pork products. There
you go.
And I'm not sure. I'm kind of glad I didn't tell it because there were a lot of people from the kosher deli where he was a waiter. Up until because Mike, Rafi and I were going to go there in 2023. So that was up until a couple of years ago. He was a waiter at Ben's kosher deli.
Yeah.
And a lot of those people were there. I'm not sure they would have liked that joke.
Well, what is it that put him in the? I don't mean to get on the grim details, but I mean, what he was in that assisted healthcare for a while. Was it just the complications from just various medical issues that he was having? And
yeah, he fell, hit his head, and they were worried about blood clotting.
Oh, okay.
And whatever the medications he had taken he had done a couple bouts of chemo this last year too.
Yeah.
Even though he had beaten it, I mean, it's the type of chemo he was told this isn't something you'll ever get rid of it. We can only control it.
Right.
And so whatever treatments he was getting, they feared that would cause him blood clotting. And when they would send him home and he couldn't walk, they said, we got to get you back in here.
Yeah.
But that's not what he died of.
No.
He didn't die from the cancer. He didn't die from the blood clotting. He died what they thought was pneumonia when they tested him.
Right.
after he passed, it was COVID.
Yeah.
Which and some of the breathing symptoms for COVID match. The trouble you would have breathing with COVID is the same as the trouble you'd have with pneumonia. So that's
that's the thing. COVID, the younger folks, it's a weekend cold and you're over it, no big deal. But for those of us who are a little older, it's the Grim Reaper showing up and saying, "Come with me." And it's like, but I haven't finished watching Jeopardy, and it's like, your ticket is punched. And because I had COVID the first time, it wasn't so bad. The second time around, it was significantly worse. I do not look forward to another bout. So that
you get the boost. You get the booster shots.
No, I have not. I've never been vaccinated.
Oh, really?
And I'm not an anti-vax person per se, but any vaccine that is cooked up using strings and elements of the HIV virus, I'm not really that thrilled with. Again, I know what it's like to go viral from the 80s when it meant something very different. And no, I've had COVID. It's no fun. Right. There is a certain amount of natural immunity that you get from having COVID. Again, I'm not trying to go Robert Kennedy on you. I know how you guys.
I've had it. It was no more than a bad cold for me, but
yeah, it was unpleasant.
It was after I had the COVID vaccine and a booster, and I've had 2 boosters after I had the virus. So
the fact of the matter is, we've never had a vaccine for coronaviruses. I'm not making that up. That's just it's one of these things. We haven't cracked that code yet. And whatever it is they're shooting us up with, you want to give me something like a polio vaccine? I understand that. You deactivate the polio virus so it trips off your immune system enough such that, when you get exposed to the live virus, your immune system can shut it down. That makes sense to me. I understand that. But this is not a deactivated virus. This is something that's clipped together from a whole bunch of different stuff, and it's one Frankenvirus going after another. We wouldn't be in this circumstance if people weren't out playing around. Whether you want to believe it emerged naturally out of people eating bats at a wet market or some diabolical science experiment deliberately released.
Eating bats in a wet market. Talk about your porn titles.
That's a German. That's got to be a German title, though.
That would be a German title.
That would be like from Wilfred Manteuffel Productions. Bats at the wet market. The kind of thing you'd get arrested in Berlin for showing.
From the people that brought you German Goo Girls.
Exactly. From the Prince of Stump Porn, we now bring you. Yeah. Bats at the wet market.
In my day, we called them smokers.
The kind of stuff that you just look at and you go, they've managed to take something fun and interesting like sex and make it completely revolting. How German. Only the Germans could pull that off.
Very German.
And yeah. So I no, thank you.
Hey,
well, yeah. Yes.
Not to be outdone, Japanese named one of their formats for porn after a dish that they serve.
Yes, the famed bukkake.
Bukkake noodles.
Yes.
Bukkake noodles.
Yes, and by the way, while we're on German things, I was once again going through a biography of De Fuhrer, and they're talking about how when he was a young man, he could sing. He was a very good whistler, believe it or not. Could play piano. And I could only think of Kenneth Mars going, "Oh, De Fuhrer, how wonderful. He could sing and play piano." While writing.
What is this baby? What is this baby?
Doesn't baby. The Fuhrer never said baby.
The Fuhrer never said baby.
Baby. Again, someone else.
Sometimes I wish that Kenneth Mars and Dick Shawn could have made it to the musical.
Yes. Yeah. Again, and of course Kenneth Mars showing up in Blazing Saddles, where he plays the executioner.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, I'm booked solid till Thursday, sir. Well,
Mel Brooks's birthday was the day before yesterday. 99 years old.
Yeah,
99 years old.
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
The 28th. He's July 28th, 99.
Wow.
Yeah. And the thing that amazes me about that is just after his 98th birthday, he did a show commemorating the 50th anniversary of Blazing Saddles out in LA.
Right.
I missed it. Had I known that they were going to do it, I would have gone earlier for my son's wedding just to see this event. But Mel Brooks not only was there for the whole movie, introduced it, watched the whole thing with the audience, but took 90 minutes of Q&A after the thing was over. At 98, he's my freaking hero.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, he was trying to get John Wayne to play the kid.
The Waco Kid. Yeah, he wanted John Wayne
Waco
to play
Kid.
And John Wayne wouldn't do it because the script was too vulgar. Not any of Waco Kid's material, not any of his lines, but just the general movie was too vulgar for John Wayne.
You know, Ben Johnson had to be talked into doing the Last Picture Show. And of course, he ends up winning an Academy Award for that. And he keeps going to Bogdanovich saying, "There's too many words here. I don't want to say all this." And I don't know, because, you know, Ben Johnson, again, he performs one of the best sort of speeches in cinema history, you know, talking about the tank and the woman that he was having an affair with, which we pretty sure is JC's mom, you know, hell, being crazy about a woman like that's always the right thing to do. And because I don't want to be saying that I'm going to bring my mother to this movie. I don't want no vulgarity. I don't want no curse words. And, you know, and again, people from a certain generation, do you remember when in the early 70s, the motion picture ratings was still fairly new? I mean, Carnal Knowledge was an X-rated movie. Midnight Cowboy's an X-rated movie. X did not mean pornographic. It meant adults.
Adult, yeah. It's when the porn producers took it over and created triple X.
Because they copyrighted all of the ratings except X. It's like, what, did you forget? Did someone not? Is it a typo? What? Yeah. So. Yeah,
well, I remember PG when it was GP. Remember that?
Yeah, GP. Yeah. You know, general public.
PG.
Yeah. PG-13, and of course we as kids were all hoping for exciting things like side boob and maybe a little flash of this.
We were chanting, hitting the armrest with our fists.
Something
side
boob. Yeah, you know.
That's what. And then Bo Derek came along and gave us exactly what we wanted. You know.
Right, and no one complained. and everyone rejoiced, as they would say in the Holy Grail. You know, and that's one of the reasons why we used to watch the Monty Python TV show on Channel 9, because you got to see the whole thing. Yeah. Whereas on PBS they would clip out the exciting life of a London stockbroker. Nudity, you know. Yes. She has huge tracts of land. And
nope, shut it off. You're not going anywhere.
Carol Cleveland in the Castle Anthrax. Yes, we have a grail-shaped beacon, which, yes, it's naughty bad Zoot. You must spank us. Yes, spank us all. Spank us. The peril is much too perilous. You must go. and
Lancelot comes and saves him.
Yes. And there was always, I don't know if they clip it out now, but back in the day, used to, one of the last words, "I bet you're a fag." And no, I'm not. And now I'm finding that the F word, sadly, is being clipped out of things.
Why?
Why am I sad about that? Because it's the way people talk.
Why is it being clipped out of things?
Because the F word has now entered the pantheon of words which we can only say the first letter of, and nothing else.
But there's two F words. Is the F? Are we talking about the F word that is?
Well, there's faggot, and then what's the other one?
Fuck is an F word.
Oh,
fuck is an F word.
Yeah.
And faggot.
But fuck
doesn't
get clipped out of things. Yeah. Just it might, but yeah. And the thing is, no, it's like, no. You know what? If people use it and they use it with malice, you know, I say go ahead. I want people to know. People should hear it.
Yep.
Yes.
When I
I'm tired
think of
great literature being damaged because they keep adapting certain words for
No.
their description. You know,
You were saying, Mark?
and then massive amount of literature.
I don't know if I've told this story or not, but my gay brother was always my barometer or thermostat for my gay material. But he didn't represent the entire community, but we made each other laugh, and so
Right.
I figured that counts, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, but he one time I was over at his apartment. He lived in LA too. In fact, he lived by the Improv when I went out there in '84, and they said, well, if you don't live here, we're not going to use you, because I passed my audition in '84,
Right.
but I didn't move out there till '87.
Right.
But I used my brother's address that was right around the street from the Improv to
Right.
sort of give a presence of LA and everything.
Right.
Anyway, so we're out there. I can't remember if I had any kids yet or not, but Susan and I, oh yeah, we did, because we moved out there with Michael. So anyway, we're visiting Paul, my brother, and he had a boyfriend, Bill, who was much more, how shall we say, flamboyant than my brother was.
Yes.
My brother was,
Butch.
Yeah, basically. And,
Yeah.
and Bill was just, let's call it fluid.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Festive. Yeah.
so I'm over at Paul's apartment, and Bill comes in when he is steaming. I swear.
Oh God.
I am for that man anymore. He just is so.
Oh dear, you. I hate this. Actually, I think we're over time.
Been censored.
Yeah. Well.
I'm just saying, like, I wish the gay community would stop taking it and taking words that are in poetry. Like, you can't use queer night anymore. It was a night.
That's not us,
queer,
Andy.
you know?
I don't know who it is. That's not us. That's
I'm
somebody
saying, like,
else.
that person's gay. He's gay and happy. Can't use that anymore.
No.
I want him to come up with a name for the whole group that has completely out of any literature. Just
the thing is,
I want to hear some cisgender, poetry. You just want to hear cisgender.
Well, that's why I don't use the term cisgender, because it's a made up term, and I will not buy into that. It says that somehow or another. Again, this whole gender nonsense. Gender relates to language. Languages are gendered. German is a gendered language. English is a gendered language. Latin-based languages are gendered. Okay, people have sex.
Right.
And that's just the reality of it. And again, the folks trying to tell me this, that, and the other thing. It's like, no, you're not doing anything. I mean, it's just no. And by the way, just from my own perspective, if as an adult, you do whatever you like. If you're free and over 21 and you have the money, you do whatever you want. I could really care less. But the thing is, so much of this is trickled down to where you've got Munchausen mommies who want to trans their babies and trans their kids.
Oh, I know.
That,
I know.
That right
great.
there. That is child abuse of the highest order. That is conversion therapy that involves.
There's two levels of disturbing on that. There's the level on which I think it's disturbing.
Yes.
You would have parents who would encourage it. And then there's the level I am criticized for thinking that that's disturbing. You know what I mean?
Which you shouldn't be. No, that's not disturbing, because it's criminal behavior. You are encouraging the physical surgical mutilation of your child.
Yeah. I don't think any doctor's worth doctor for me. If they didn't first have somebody get a complete psychological makeup,
right?
I mean, because what would happen if you do all this, if you take care of all this stuff surgically, and then you go, oh, I guess that wasn't it.
Yeah, there's no going back.
It reminds me of a guy he used to work for. I'm not going to mention his name because we are broadcasting. But this guy I used to work with, he had 3 different wives. Well, I knew him. I heard he got married twice after I'd seen him last. So that's 5 wives. But the first 3 wives, he bought boob jobs for him.
Yeah.
And the third wife divorced him when she revealed her new breasts, and he goes, "Oh, yeah, I guess that wasn't it." I guess I was wrong. I guess you with better boobs isn't any better. So I guess.
Do you remember though? And certainly this came to the fore during the Jean Bidet imbroglio. And later on, when you had the mommies who were prancing their daughters around in the various beauty pageants, and people were like tut-tutting, it's like, but at least that's just makeup and glitter, and it'll come off. Much like fingers with a chainsaw. But that's not permanent. It's just it's not great. I don't think you should put kids through that. But if you encountered someone who got their 9-year-old daughter breast implants at 9, you'd be appalled, and you should be.
Yeah, I sure would.
That is appalling.
I sure
would.
That
is appalling.
There's something very wrong with that.
Yes, there really is, and it's imposing. There's this sort of horrific. Again, puberty blockers are not reversible. These are strong, powerful drugs. I know of people who at 18 and 19 died from strokes because they were taking the cross-sex hormones after doing puberty blockers at 14. This shit's been going on for a while. You don't die of a stroke at 18 years old because of this.
No.
While proclaiming that you're a boy. No, you were shot up with testosterone at levels your body was never designed to take. Right. It just wasn't. So, and what a surprise. Yeah. So no, this whole thing, and again, anytime.
Wait, what do you? And do you think there's something in the, I don't know, thought process, mental state, whatever it is, of these parents that would want to munch up on their kids? No, but do you think that they would rather have their child transition than to have them be gay? Do you think there's any of that element to it?
Yes, and that was the next point that I was going to make, is it does underline that so many people still have such a strong, virulent reaction to the concept of homosexuality, especially as it relates to their own children. And I understand that. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I do understand it. Okay? And yes, they would rather do that. They seem to think that if these sexual urges potentially, people see it coming down the road, and it's like, yeah, he's a bit. She likes to hang out and play with power tools and whatnot, and he seems to like dolls and whatnot. So these tropes that we associate with being gay, they're not always true. Mm-hmm. But now they're saying, oh, they want to do this. I would rather do that. And then the expression has been, would you rather have a live daughter than a dead son? And to me, again, threatening people with suicide is not a good negotiating tactic. Or technique, and that we have allowed this to go on. We will, no. You're not going to create a woman out of a boy. You're going to create a eunuch, at best, and it's not of the opposite sex. I don't care how well you've achieved your creation. Dr. Frankenstein's monster will always be a monster.
Figures we're getting into this in the last minute and a half of the show.
Yeah. Of course.
That's the way it always works, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And it's a comedy show, folks.
Yes. Smile, people.
Oh, that's right.
Nuclear weapons.
That's right. Hey, we had a lot of laughs until minute 58. Okay, so let's give ourselves a break here. All right. Anyway, we only got a few seconds left. I want to just take the last few moments here and
let's go back to the wagon trail diseases. Huh? Okay, it didn't work down either, so okay.
Go ahead, Sam.
Thank you for joining us for these 268 episodes. And we got to talk a little about Memorial with a beautiful occasion, and God bless them. And keep going on here on the off night, Monday nights, 8 o'clock We'll see you next Monday night. Good night, everybody.
Thank you, buddy. Have a good night. We'll let the music play out a little bit there. Still on it? Yep. Still on it.
I'm kind of. I don't know what.
There you go.
And the music. And that won't end either.
Okay. End it. End it.
End it.
Stop
It
it.
won't stop.
Stop.
I can't get it to stop. Oh.